All right, welcome everybody. Just making sure everything's working here like I usually do at the beginning of our streams. I don't really see my microphone going in and out. Oh, there it is. And we're having that slowdown again, which happens at the practically the start of every single one of my streams. I don't know why, but it does. So, yep. All right, let me just reload the camera and we
I
should be
want to do
fine.
barrel
So,
rolls and loop the loops and
brr,
all that kind of stuff.
we have some
We don't do that kind of flying
followings here from Maverick
Dangerous,
171809er.
lawsuits.
I believe that's
Who
from
does?
the other day,
Heck,
but
does.
just want to make sure. It's a process. This NVIDIA broadcast or it's been havoc on the simulator. We're running at like 9 frames per second. But I guess no, it's doing that thing again. All right, let me try reloading it. Here we go. We get you some music too. That might help. Oh, that way you're not just gonna stay here and like look at it and go, "What's going on?" So I'm trying, people. I am trying. All right, so let's try to fix this camera problem. Again, if NVIDIA broadcast ever just gets it so that they can remove the gaming seat behind me on the virtual camera, that would be awesome. So we shall see. Okay, we'll do that. Reboot it. Here we go. All right, let's see what happens. And there we go. I just had to reboot XSplit VCam because I already configured video broadcast to not use it. So that's cool. All right, chat's gonna be open, enabling the chat. Feel free to chat with me. But today's flight is a continuation and almost eventual ending of our Around the USA flights. We've been flying them since June, and ironically, I was starting to stream on these flights too as well. So we've been streaming since June. It's been successful. I've gotten a lot of follows and subscribers on the channel, so that's awesome. And it's been going great. And I've just been enjoying sharing my flights with you because I'd be simming either way. It's just a matter of sharing it with the world. But anyways, we're at Lake Placid, New York. That's where we left off last night, and I love the people that came out last night. We had a lot of questions. I helped out with questions about lighting on the airplane and stuff like that after I landed here. And we're going to go all the way to Whitefield, New Hampshire, Mount Washington Regional in New Hampshire, which I hope to get to in real life someday. It's located near Mount Washington, hence why it's called Mount Washington Regional, and that's the highest point in New England. And it's about 6,600-ish feet. So we might see it on the way there. It's going to be a little bit more in front of us and to the right. This Mount Lafayette, it's like a big mountainous place in New Hampshire, and it actually has a lot of like interesting tourist sites up there too. I've been up in that area in real life, just haven't never flown out there. So, but without further ado, let's get this party started. So the fuel's on. I already fueled up, so we're all set there. I was gonna test out my quadrants here. You know how we do this because I have two different quadrants, one for like jets and stuff, and another one just a throttle prop mixture. So, all right, good. Everything's looking good. Seat back, track lock, yes. Avionics are off, correct. Autopilot's off. Throttle 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, that was a little bit much. I already had 1/4 of an inch in. Mixture's fully in. Brakes are set. Master's going on. Beacon's going on. Fuel pump should not be on, so I turned it off. And now, fuel pump will go on, and we'll pump it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mixture out. Pump off. And with that, we're going to start. So we're going to say clear prop. And max to start. There's the mixture. We're good. Going to go to 1,000. Oil pressure is where it usually is, right below the green. It should be in the green, but it never is. And lights as required. Let's turn our landing, taxi, and nav lights on. Nav lights pretending that they're the ADS-B is connected to there, like I talked about last night in the stream. And seatbelts, harnesses, flaps are up. Let's test the flap switch. Should be working because again, I messed with the quadrant before. So there you go. That button's working perfectly. I like to use that button for flaps. Heat vent defrost. Let's look at Rex Weather Force, and I'm lucky that everything's working here because I just updated to the newest version as I tried to start this flight tonight, and I tried to make sure everything was working before we started because I didn't want any problems. But it says it's 42 degrees, so I think that calls for a little bit of heat. We're not real time, but we are real world weather. So it's about noon in the simulator, 12:30ish or so. Avionics going on. Means this and the transponder. And you know what? I did forget one little quick thing. The screen's gonna flash for a second. I forgot to set up my VATSIM flight plan. Let's see if air traffic control's on as well. So here's the screen. I'm gonna take off mode C. We're gonna file flight plan. This was last night's, so let's update it to tonight's. It's what, 12:30, so it's 17:30. I'll say 1800. It's gonna take about. This is why you do your flight log and your flight planning before all this. About an hour, I thought. No, that's the next one ahead of us, just in case. In case I want to fly the second leg, it's already planned, but I'm not sure. It's pretty late here, and we'll see. 57 minutes. That's what I said on my flight planning. Got 4 hours of fuel, about that. We're gonna fly at 5,500, and we're going direct. So, actually, no, we're not. We're going to Burlington, Vermont first. So, we're going from Lake Placid to Burlington, Vermont, and then we're gonna head down to Mount Washington Regional. So, we'll save this. Beautiful. Close that. We will connect. And I'll also look at VATtastic to see if we have any air traffic control in the Boston area. And we do. We have Boston Center. Lake Placid does not require me to really contact anyone. I'm going to be above the Burlington class Charlie airspace at 5,500. So let's take a look at our route, shall we? Here we are at Lake Placid. We're going to go up to Burlington over Lake Champlain. Last time I was up here in the simulator, at least, I've never been up here in real life with a plane, was when we did the Revolutionary War inspired fly-in for the Virtual USA Flying Club. So that was over here at Plattsburgh, but they had a famous little battle right here between the British and the Americans, but that's the last time. And Burlington's right here. We'll fly that at 5,500, so no need to contact about that. We'll go slightly to the south to avoid this restricted area because I do not know what the ceiling is on this or what it was all about. I could if I looked at my paper section, but we'll just avoid it. And then we'll be flying all the way to Mount Washington Regional. Again, Mount Washington's right here, tallest point in New England. A very clear day, you can actually see all the way to Boston from there, which is all the way down here. That's what they say, at least. I've never seen it. I've never even been on top of it, because every time I've wanted to go on top, we've always never had time. So Mount Lafayette is another major mountain here, and Mount Cabot is probably like a, it's a smaller mountain, but Mount Washington is the big one right here. And you'll see that they have a weather station on the top of the mountain right there. So right now it's saying 270 at 28 knots on top of the mountain. So that makes sense because that's 6,000 feet. So, all right, but that is our route tonight, and that's what we're going to fly. So, without further ado, I got the VATSIM all logged on. Go back to my checklist here. Let's get the ATIS. Go back to my flight log thing. It's 124.175. I can't remember if this actually worked last night, but we'll see if it works tonight. And here we go.
Kilo Lima Kilo Papa automated weather observation 17000.
That's not working.
Wind 285 at tree.
So we're gonna cheat and use weather force again, because this is what I was trying to get into Adrock Regional. And I don't know why that's the simulator messing up. So it says clear, 10 square miles, no wind. No wind at all. So we're probably going to take off of, let's go 1-4. So that way we're heading kind of towards where we want to go. And altimeter is 3000. I don't know if it just fixed that or not. No, it didn't. Alright, we could change that back to VATSIM Unicom. 122.8. Here we go. And sounds great. Alright, good. So, back to the checklist. We have transponder on squawk. Yep, ADSB's on with the nav lights. That's what we're pretending. Radio test. Okay, we are on VATSIM Unicom, hopefully. Yes, we are. VATSIM Unicom, November 489er Echo Foxtrot. Radio check, please. And I don't think anyone's going to hear me because I'm in the middle of nowhere. It is a United Airlines flight, though. And I'm looking at VATtastic for that information. So here we are right here. And there's the closest person. But he's not going to contact me. It's all right. He's probably with Boston Center. That's why. All right. Heading indicators looking good. And everything's looking good. Radio test, taxi light, brakes will test on the way out. We're going to go to runway 14, which means that we are going to go that way and take off runway 14. I think. Let me get a quick overview here. It's kind of hard when it doesn't have an airport diagram sometimes. 14. No, it's no taxiway. So we're going to go out here. We're going to take a left and go down that taxiway to runway 14. We're also going to do a run up over there. So let's do it, shall we? We shall. Actually, you know what? I could contact Boston Center and get a radio check. Let me do that so that way I know it's working. Boston Center, November 489er Echo Foxtrot. Radio check, please.
Loud and clear.
Thank you, 9er Foxtrot. Alright, and like I said, this is a Class G airport, so I do not have to contact air traffic control or anything. It's basically just like Plymouth. We can just take off from here, so that's what we're going to do. Alright, here we go. A little bit of gas. Brakes are good. Going to the right. And here we go. So I hope everyone's having a great night tonight. I got kind of a late start on this. I had, ooh, look at that. There's grass in the middle of the taxiway. That's not good. Well, pretend that's not there. That's not my fault. That's the simulator. Hope everyone's doing good tonight. Again, we have a late start tonight only because I had to put the kids to bed. And, you know, it's just part of being a parent. So, but this taxiway is not very pleasing to the eyes, I think. This is pretty bad. Well, we'll be out of here anyways in Lake Placid, New York. It's not much space for a run-up either, so maybe there's a run-up space, maybe there's not. Looks like there's something on the left here, but I'm not sure if that's a place we can go. This is a kind of a weird airport, huh? At least in the simulator. In real life, I don't think it's as weird. Alright, seeing that there's no wind, we'll just do the run-up right here. So, brakes. Here we go. Checklist. Brakes are set. Fuel set to both. Trim set for takeoff. It is. Flight controls. We'll do the box. We're going to push it in, right, left, all the way around. And you can see that things are moving freely and correctly, so we're good. Annunciator lights. Push this thing up to test them. They all light up. That is good. We have this set to nav, which is also good. Instruments. Turn equators almost in the middle. We're kind of on a little slant, I guess. Flags off. 330. Yep. Vertical speed looks good. Altimeter looks good. I think it's like 1,700 feet here. 1,750 or so. Horizon looks good. For some reason that stuck on me last night, so we'll keep an eye on that. And the airspeed looks good. Mixture best power. Well, it's not there yet, but we'll go up to 1,800. We'll lean out the mixture. And then we'll test the mag. So here we go. 1,800. Beautiful. Gonna lean out the mixture, get maximum RPM, seeing that we're at 1,700 feet. Doesn't hurt. Go a little bit in. Right about there. Doesn't take much. Alright, put down now. Back on the RPMs. Alright. Test the mags. Right mag. Good. Back to both. Left. Back to both. Okay. Vacuum is looking good. Amps should be charging slightly. That is not correct, but it always does that, so we'll just go with it. Oil temperature, oil pressure is in the green. We're going to idle now. Very good. Back to 1,000. If there's a problem on the takeoff roll, mechanical emergency or otherwise, and there's enough available runway ahead of us, we'll abort takeoff and land directly ahead on the runway. If we are under, excuse me, 2,400 feet, and there's a problem, mechanical emergency or otherwise, we will land directly ahead. No more than 30-degree turns. Best glide speed is 68. If we are above 2,400 feet, and there's a problem, mechanical emergency or otherwise, we will take a turn to the right. That way we have this taxiway and stuff to land on. We're going to land on the taxiway, the grass, the runway, whatever's available to us. Best glide speed is 68. With that, I think we're good. We're ready for takeoff again. No flaps, good. That yoke back. Everything else is looking good. Strobe lights have to be on though. And that's it. We're ready for takeoff. So we'll go to the hold short line. And we'll call on the Unicom on what we're doing. And the Unicom in real life here, CTAF I mean, is 122.8. So actually using the real world CTAF, which is interesting. So, alright. New one on downwind. Still can't pull these things down. That'd be awesome if you could use those glare shields. And no one on final, no one on base. Gonna call it. Lake Placid traffic. Cessna Echo Foxtrot departing runway 14. Departure to the northeast. Lake Placid. Alright. I'm listening for anybody. No one's there. Let's go. Get my stopwatch ready to go. In the real world, my watch just kind of starts itself once it knows that you're leaving the airport. So these Garmin pilot watches are great. This is an old one. This is the Garmin D2. So alright, we'll center, and we're going to get as much altitude as possible, especially with these mountains around us. So here we go, starting the stopwatch now. Full throttle, rotate at 55, climb at 74, and hopefully my right rudder is not too busted, but we will get there. So here we go. It's alright. Again, my rudders are a little broken until I can get a new set. So I'm trying my best with it. Oh, yeah. There we go. Alright, and we're also going to turn that down. Because for some reason, the radio here with the simulator is kind of messed up. So I'm just going to turn the volume down without turning off the GPS. There we go. At least you could do that. Prepared, I couldn't do that at all. So... Alright, we don't want to go into that mountain, but we do want to get some altitude here. So if we had to, we can climb at best climb here, which is 62, I think? Yeah, 62, best angle of climb. And that will get you the most altitude in the shortest amount of time. I mean, well, basically it's your short takeoff, so that's why I'm going to 62 to get some real altitude here. Throttle, so there's nothing that is really gonna hit us here, so just that mountain in front. So alright, 2,400, we're gonna take a turn to the left. We're clearing the left. Here we go. And again, this will put us to the northeast. There's no wind according to the METAR. And seeing that I'm out of the way of this mountain, I'm gonna climb at 74 again, which is best rate of climb. But I just wanted to make sure I had some clearance over that mountain if I needed it. And we should be heading approximately. Keep turning. 9 or 0 heading once I get on track here. So we're right about on track. So cool. That worked out great. Now we just have to climb over these mountains and we'll be fine. So 5,500 is going to clear us all these mountains just enough. So we're at 3,000. We're going to lean out the mixture a little bit. Right about there. Beautiful. And we're not going to climb at 80 like we usually do. We're going to climb at 74 again to get over these mountains. That is the goal. But goodbye, Lake Placid. It was nice landing at you. And we're going to hit a new state tonight, which is New Hampshire. So if you're watching, feel free to chat, or you can just sit there and stand by and watch the flight. It's whatever you would like. I do encourage you to chat if you'd like to. If you have any questions or anything like that, let me know. Last night was very productive on that, so answered a lot of questions. And our first checkpoint will be, whoa, see those winds over the hills there are beating us up a little bit. Our first checkpoint is Route 87, so we'll be looking for that up ahead. It's a little bit of a distance. Yeah, see, so sometimes you want to go to a VX to just get over obstacles and stuff. And you want to, you know, visually make sure you're going to do that. So we're pretty close to this hill right here. In the real world, I might even rethink that decision and just do a couple circles here to gain some altitude, but we're okay. So we're at 4,000 and climbing. Everything's going to be fine, so. I don't want to turn it off, I just want it to be quiet. Oh, come on. Oh, I guess that's the quietest it's going to get, so. Hopefully that goes away after a while. But I do want to thank once again Yeller133 for donating $10 last night. That was very nice of him. We do not ask for tips. They are greatly appreciated though whenever I do get one. So, and that's going in for the flight fund. But hopefully the real world trip that I'm going to take this Saturday, probably to Maine. I think in Portsmouth, Maine. Portsmouth? I think it's Portsmouth. Give me a second. Portland, Maine, excuse me. Or, no, it was Portsmouth. Portsmouth, Maine. So I'm going to see if we can do that in real life on Saturday, excuse me. Alright, we're going to trim up to climb at 80 now, at 80 knots. So we get to 5,500, but we're not that far off. And got some beautiful scenery here outside Lake Placid, so. Yeah, not real world time, but we have real world weather, so. I wanted to be flying during the day, so. Okay, we're at 5,000. Got to trim out the, lean out the mixture just a little bit more, so we get any more RPMs out of this. Okay, right about there. We are on course, everybody. We just went over the Adirondack Mountains. That's why they had so many mountains around us. The Adirondacks are pretty much all around Lake Placid, so. Route 87 should be up ahead, so then Lake Champlain should be right after that, so. Okay, I'm gonna start trimming down as we get closer to 5,500. We have Saddleback Mountain over here on our right. Right here. Whoa! Got lots of wind off those hills. They might say 0 knots on the METAR, but that's not what's happening when we're on these hills. Okay, come on, trim out. Oh! Okay, let's back up to 2,400. It's all about trim right now, so. Getting rocked around here pretty good. So hopefully we get out of these hills a little bit, it'll die down a little bit. Mount Whiteface is over there. Whoa. Pretty bumpy. Whoa. Did I miss something? Let's see if there's any type of air mat. Nope. Yep. There's one for turbulence, but it's not around here. At least it's not supposed to be. It's back at Syracuse where we were a couple nights ago. But it's pretty bumpy here, so I don't know. Well, try to weather the storm here. And Route 87 should be coming up. Out here in the distance. So we'll be looking for it, but that will be our first checkpoint. I calculated a total of 15 minutes to get there. I'm currently at almost 10. So we'll see. It should be close. Calm down a little bit. Whoa. Alright, slow down the RPMs a little bit, get more maneuvering speed. It's pretty bumpy. This is the most lively I've seen the simulator in quite a while with winds, so this is nice to see in a way. But the trim is all over the place due to this turbulence here. Alright, Route 87, we're looking, oh there it is right there. So we hit that, that's our first checkpoint. Lake Champlain is out here in the distance. You see the planes getting kicked around quite a bit, it's pretty windy up here. Ground speed of 140 knots. I think I said 135 when I calculated it. No, I said 133. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bumpy, but shouldn't be that bad. Okay, I got 11 minutes. And we're going 132 knots. Yeah, we're around where I calculated. So I wish that the trim would just trim out a little easier for me. So clear night, but kind of bumpy up here. And of course we're doing it during the day because I want to see the scenery, so. Alright, Route 87 is upon us right here. So we will call that for 12 minutes. 12 minutes total flight time, so we're ahead by 2, which is fine. Just gonna check here at 12. So everything is 3 minutes earlier than what I said. Okay, that wind can kick a little bit. We're alright. And there we go. Next checkpoint is Burlington. And that should be in 9 more minutes, so a total of 21-minute flight time. About 10 minutes till we make over Burlington, Vermont. And we want to say goodbye to New York at this time, because as we cross Lake Champlain, we will be going into Vermont and seeing New York for the last time. And the Around the USA flights I've been doing since June. So that's Route 87. We're about to fly right over Lake Champlain. Those winds are kicking though. Boy, are they kicking. Back in my home part of the country, the Northeast here, so getting very close to the end here. We've done the whole perimeter of the United States. If you haven't seen this stream before, then I will show you what we have done since June. And I had it all planned out in SkyVector. So here we go, really quick. We started out in Plymouth, Massachusetts. We went all the way around the perimeter of the United States. Right around here, Microsoft Flight Simulator came out, and then we started doing it in the Microsoft Flight Simulator all the way up the coast, all the way up here. We went around the Great Lakes, and now we are from here, Lake Placid, flying over Burlington and going to Whitefield, New Hampshire. So that is what we are doing. These winds are kicking our butt. But you can't beat that ground speed of 138 knots. That's pretty good for 172. So hopefully this radio, hopefully that C-tap goes away, because that is messed up. That's not real at all. And what we'll do actually is we'll tune into Burlington's weather, 123.8, and get an updated altimeter setting. So hopefully that works. Alright. We're good. So that way we go over Burlington. It's back to that though. And I do have to leave that there, sadly, because VATSIM Unicom's on 122.8. So don't have a choice in that. If VATSIM just followed the real world, you know, like CTAF and Unicoms and stuff, I think that'd be better. So, but I don't get to control that. So, and if you just joined us again, we are continuing around the USA flights from Lake Placid, New York. We're just about to fly over Lake Champlain to Burlington, Vermont. Winds are kicking here. We have a ground speed of 142 knots. We're flying the 172. We're doing it for the whole perimeter of the country. But over the lake here, it should be a little bit better. Up in the distance would be Plattsburgh. Don't know if we can see that or not. Probably, oh, you actually can, right there, distance. Burlington is right in front of us. So we're going to overfly Burlington and head to Mount Washington Regional in New Hampshire. So, hope you're all doing great tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Let's look at my tablet here. It has the Veer app, which I use in the real world while flying, and I connected up to the simulator as well. It's pretty good, and it's free. Can't beat free, so. Gotta trim it back down. Those winds were pretty violent, and now we're pretty calm. Probably because there's not as much of a thermal, thanks to being over the water. I guess Microsoft Flight Simulator does something with that, which is kind of cool. If they don't, it looks pretty good, because very realistic for being over the ground. But Lake Champlain, everybody. And again, last time I was here in the simulator, I flew, I actually created a fly-in for the Retro USA Flying Club. You'll see the banner over here. And I planned one that I visited all these Revolutionary War battle spots, and we did that on July 3rd for July 4th, Independence Day. And they had a battle right here, naval battle between the Americans and the British. So that was one of our airports that we landed at, and that's Plattsburgh International, which is just a Class G, even though it's an international airport. So it kind of tells you the amount of space that they have up here in Vermont and stuff. So, but we should be seeing Burlington right in front of us, right there. So we're going to overfly Burlington and then head direct to Mount Washington Regional. I'll be heading 118 once I overfly Burlington, according to my flight planning. But Burlington, Vermont, everybody. Pretty nice place. The Canadian border, if you go off Lake Champlain, you'd be there in no time. So we are officially in Vermont now. And in New England, which is where we're going to end this Around the USA flight. Eventually at my home base, my real world home base of Plymouth, Massachusetts. So everything's going pretty good. We've done it all in the 172. Visibility's not bad. It's actually pretty good. I like that there's haze like in the real world. When I was flying up in Keene, New Hampshire this past weekend, for real, it kind of looked like this with the haze in the background. Hey, what's up? Well, hopefully I will too. I'm actually in charge of the Thanksgiving event, so try to check that out. That's actually going to be flying into my real world home base of Plymouth, where the Thanksgiving happens. The first, well, that one with pilgrims and the Wampanoag. So, yep. But hopefully I'll see you there, Maverick. Okay. Have a great night. Thanks for tuning in, bud. All right. Just about over Burlington. I have about 19 minutes total. What did I say here? I said 21, so I'll call it 20. I'll take another minute off all the times here, so. There we go. We're good. All right, man. We'll see ya. All right, turning to 118 to hopefully be direct to go to Mount Washington Regional. Right about here. There we go. Now we should be pretty much direct to Mount Washington. So let's just double check that in the GPS. And that is correct. So again, we're gonna head a little south, only to avoid that restricted airspace up ahead. Someone's transmitting on the Unicom for VATSIM, so I don't know who that is. I didn't hear much of anything. They gotta be pretty far away. So let's see what we got for traffic out here. We have Raj. We have Pacific Chia, if that's a real name. It might be, it might not. They're going to Toronto, it looks like. But Raj might be doing it for Burlington. We're not landing there though, so we should be okay. So let's hopefully stay on track. There we go. We'll head about 125 again to go around that restricted airspace up ahead. So R6501. Let's see if I can look that up really fast. If I pulled up my paper sectional, which I'm too lazy to do, I could probably find it out because I have the New York sectional. That's the one I use for most of my road flying. But let's see what it says. Underhill, Vermont. Let's see. In 24 hours, notice in advance of any activation of the restricted area. Yep, blah, blah, blah. Trim up, try to do this. It doesn't really say what it's for. That was just an amendment to what the wording was. R6501. Wait, I think I got it right here. It's to 4,000. So actually I could overfly that. It's alright though. Kind of already avoided it. And it's a Monday through Friday. And Burlington Approach is in charge of it on 121.1. So that's alright. We did something like that again going to Key, New Hampshire this past week, and I overflew restricted airspace right near 6 Bravo 6. That was up to 4,000, but I was at 8,500, so I went right over it. And that was a very liberating feeling. It's the first time I ever really did something like that. So I was in contact with Boston Approach the whole time, but there was no need for alarm or anything like that, so it's pretty cool, you know. But now we're leaving Burlington, and we're going to be going to New Hampshire. I'm going to tell you when we get into New Hampshire, which shouldn't be that long, I don't think. Let's see. Is that the border? That might be the border. We're also not that far from the Canadian border. If we went north, a little, like maybe about half an hour, we'd be there. So this is why I went this far north, to get around the perimeter here of the United States. And what's our next checkpoint? I never even thought about that. Our next checkpoint is Waterbury. And we should have been there in 8 minutes for a total flight time of 28 minutes. So we'll see. Where is Waterbury? Oh, there it is. It's gonna be off our right still, so We're still good. We should be there in about 5 minutes. So, ground speed of 138 knots. Though we're making some good time. It says we'll be at Mount Washington Regional in about 27 minutes or so. So yeah, it's been good with the winds pushing us. So look at that haze out there. Let's take a look outside. And you got some winds around these hills, so. Alright, we'll turn on course again. That restricted airspace is right up here. So. They never really said what it was used for. I think I already took that window down off the web browser, but that's okay. Alright. Things looking good. There should have been some VAT sim traffic off our right wing. I didn't really see him. He would be the one without a name above him, because in VAT sim they just kind of show you the airplane like real life. With just the plane coming in with the model. But alright, got a nice little river right there. Very New England-ish here in the mountains of Vermont and New Hampshire coming up. Excuse me. Gotta drink some iced tea here. All right, we have a mountain coming up ahead. It's the Worcester Mountains. Sorry, I said Worcester like it's, you know, back in Massachusetts. And it has a peak of 3,600 feet. So again, we should be over that, no problemo. But these winds over the hills and mountains are affecting us here. So again, you typically want to be 1,000 feet above the mountains when going over it. I could have went at 7,500, but I said, let's keep it low so I can see some scenery and stuff like that. Real life, I probably would have done 7,500 though, just to get over it and get away from these ups and down drafts. They'd probably be less at a higher level, but they'd still be there, you know. Look at that nice little lake right there. There's no name for it on the sectional, but it's very, you can tell you're in New England, you know, Vermont, these nice lakes and rivers and stuff. And Waterbury should be out here, which it is. So that is our next checkpoint. And I said it would take about 28 minutes. Looks like it's going to be 28, 27, 28. So Waterbury, Vermont. Still looking on the section where the border for New Hampshire would be. I think that's it right there. Yeah. Alright, so we still got a little way to go before we hit the border here. Very nice scenery. Very good. Whoa, going a little too fast though, so. We don't want to get near the yellow, especially with all this knocking around. Actually, we want to be more like a maneuvering speed, which is 104. So, but here's the Worcester Mountains. I keep calling them Worcester Mountains that we're going to fly right over. So, come on now, trim down just a little bit. .136 knot ground speed still. Can't beat that. And we're about 23 minutes out, believe it or not, already. So we're almost at our destination, which is awesome. Seems like this flight has just flown by, but we're going to call Waterbury at 27 minutes. So we're doing well on that. We're doing dead reckoning here. Now I'm going to trim up now because I want to stay above that mountain. 27. Okay, there we go. Next checkpoint, South Woodbury. Should be there in 7 minutes or so. And we're going to trim up to go over these mountains. Come on. But yeah, look at this. How beautiful is that? And take a screenshot of that. There we go. Right over the mountain. Beautiful. And I knew I was going a little bit lower, so we're going to try to trim up more. But, very good. And Woodbury should be coming up. It's a very small town past these mountains here. So we'll see what happens. That's a downdraft from the mountains and the hills. Alright, we're getting to the New Hampshire border, believe it or not, already. So. We're going to be looking ahead for Woodsbury for our visual here. But see some New England style farms down here. Nice scenery. Again, right now, this would be even more spectacular if they actually had fall weather satellite imagery, because you'd see all the leaves changing. It'd be like reds and oranges and yellows. And it looks like that in real life. Again, I did fly up to Keene this past Saturday, and it looked very beautiful, even though the peak season is over for the leaves changing. But if you've never been to the Northeast to check out leaves changing in different colors, a lot of people come up here in the fall. And they fly, if you're a pilot, they fly around here just to see like the oranges and the reds and the yellows, and they'll come up and spend like a weekend just doing that. And unfortunately, I missed it due to weather. But I've also lived around in New England my whole life, so I've seen it, just not from the air. And in all its glory, like I wanted to, so. But alright, let's increase the RPMs here. Seeing that we're a little more stable now. Try to stay at 5,500 as we are on our way to Mount Washington Regional in New Hampshire. Very good. We're going to be right over Woodbury, Vermont in a second, hopefully, because that is my next checkpoint. So I was looking at planes again today too on tradeaplane.com. Not saying I could buy one right now, but I was looking at like what they had. They had a nice 1968 172i model, and I inquired about it just to see what was the useful weight and stuff. But they already sold it, so but it's pretty nice. It had a 430 GPS in it, and I'm typically not one to go after like the older models like in the 60s. I kind of wanted an N or a P model, but something like that I would have entertained buying, and I am saving up, but I don't know if it's going to be feasible to buy one. But let's look outside, look for Woodbury. Should be here, right near these ponds, which is why I picked it. So, got two ponds up there. Yeah, it's right. This must be it right here, down here. So that's Woodbury right there. And that'll be our checkpoint time. And looks like it's gonna be like 34 minutes. What did I say? I said 34 minutes, so we'll mark that off. Very good. Next checkpoint is west of Danville. Should take us about 5 minutes. And it's all these small little towns around here. So. And yep, I see it on the sectional. They have a pond that we're gonna see on our far left, and then Danville's gonna be the next town up ahead after that. And we are almost at the New Hampshire border. So one heck of a ride since June to go around the country. Can't believe it's coming to an end again. It'll be the second time I've gone coast to coast around the United States. So this one was more going around the perimeter. This was longer than last year's flight, and also the first one in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So. Very good. We're not going to need any air traffic control or anything. Mount Washington Regional is non-towered as well, Class G. So. Should be a lake coming up out here. That's that lake. It's a little bit further ahead. It's going to be over here. And that'll help us find Danville. But we don't have many flights left. I mean, I think we have 2 or 3 left. So the next flight will be from Mount Washington Regional, Whitefield, New Hampshire. We're going to go to Bangor, Maine, and then literally going to Bangor, going south, and then we're going to be in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and we're going to say, hey, we've done it again. We've gone around the whole United States on the simulator. So these are fantastic flights. They have their challenges, and especially when the sim was new and they were still updating it and stuff. But it's been an awesome experience doing this on the simulator, practicing my cross-country skills and all that stuff. So. Right, there's that pond I'm looking for. And Danville's a little bit past that, so. Oh, and last night when someone asked me what would happen if certain things failed, by the way, what instruments run on what, I knew that this runs on the pitot for the RAM speed, but it also uses the static port, and I knew that. Just wasn't remembering that last night. And then the altimeter and the vertical speed also count on having the static port. So if one of these were to fail, you know that's probably a static port issue. If it's the airspeed, you probably know this is clogged up and you have to put the pitot heat on. These are gyros, typically. So they are driven by the electronics and stuff like that. I think. Give me a second here. Well, they're gyro, so you have to reset these every now and then because of the gyro sets. That's why you set the DG. Like right now, it's saying 110. But this doesn't really emulate. I mean, it's a newer model, 172, so maybe it's better. I don't know. The 172s I play, you have to reset this like every 15 minutes just to stay on course and keep looking at that compass. So. But we are coming up on Danville. Right out here somewhere, maybe? Follow this road, it should be out here. And relatively calm here, which is great to see. Again, we're in Vermont, about to cross the border into New Hampshire. Mount Washington Regional is only 30 nautical miles out, so. It's awesome to see these little houses here on the lake and stuff too. Danville, right there. That's Danville right there. So that we are a checkpoint when we fly parallel of that. All right, let's get some weather for Mount Washington Regional. Get a little jump on that if we can. 118.525. I hope to do this flight in real life someday, like from Plymouth to Mount Washington, but we'll see.
Visibility, niner. Sky condition, clear. Temperature, 21C dew point. 1 tree, sea altimeter, tree 006. Kilo Hotel India Echo Automated Weather Observation.
Alright, here we go.
1800 Zulu. Wind, 24 tree at 17. Visibility, niner. Sky condition, clear. Temperature, 21C dew point. 1 tree, sea altimeter, tree 006.
Alright, got our weather. And we have that horrible 122.8 channel off here, because that wasn't really lifelike. 243 at 17, huh? So we'll probably land on runway 28. 17 is a little brisk. Altimeter 3006, let's set that too. Oh, wrong way. Very good. And we are just about to cross the border into New Hampshire here, so we'll see a big thing here. Dansville right there. That would be my checkpoint. Getting that road from that river there. I mean that pond. That's what I was looking for, so I definitely know this is it. And we'll call that about 40 minutes total. I said 39, we'll call it 40. Which means total flight time should be around 53 minutes. Okay, the Moore Reservoir would be the next checkpoint in 8 minutes, but I'm going to be honest with you, we're probably looking at just going direct here and not worrying so much about checkpoints because we're right on target here. Also, I'll have the GPS. But we'll see a big reservoir, and that'll be our last checkpoint before Mount Washington Regional. We just have to stay on course. Go. Off our left will be St. Johnsbury, and I think that's Vermont. It's kind of like right on the border, so I don't know if that's New Hampshire or Vermont, but that should be out here. So that's like the last town or city before we cross over to New Hampshire here. And I always love this part of New Hampshire, honestly. I want to do some camping with my son when he gets a little older up here and stuff. But it's a great place to come and hike. I've never gone hiking here, but a lot of people say it is. I have camped in the White Mountains before though, and that was back in my single days. Me and the guys going up to here to the state campground and raising hell, but good times. And as a kid, they have a lot of like travel places you can go, Santa's Village, stuff like that up here. And it's kind of like the summertime residence of Santa Claus, so don't tell your kids that because they'll want to go here. But it's a pretty cool place to go in non-COVID times. And St. Johnsbury right there. Typical New England town, right on a river here. Wonder what that thing is. You can never tell because these default buildings, they kind of just, they take the shape of the buildings, but they don't really have a lot of detail to them. There's that reservoir up ahead, that Moore Reservoir. That's how we know we're gonna be direct here. Alright, pattern altitude from Mount Washington. We're coming from the right way because everywhere else around it there's mountains. It's about 2,100 feet. So we're gonna start our descent down. Go to 2,100 RPMs. Do a cruising descent down to 2,100. And we will call out on the VATSIM Unicom when we're about, so, you know, it's 10 miles out. Give a position update, but the Moore Reservoir we have to get to first, so. Enrich the mixture a little bit too as well. We want to be descending at about 500 feet per minute here, so. Really nice scenery, you know what I mean? And this is the difference between like Montana and here is that it might be a little rural according to New England standards, but you have your little towns and stuff in between. It makes it kind of quaint and beautiful, so. We are officially in New Hampshire, everybody. There's supposed to be a power station off our right here. Let's see if it's in the simulator. Oh no, the sun's gonna be in our eyes. There's supposed to be a power station right around here somewhere. Can't really see it. I wonder what river that is. I can't really tell you, but it's a big long river and the more reservoir over here. Pretty good. Okay, we're at 4,000. And I don't know if we can see Mount Washington in the distance yet. It's gotta be out here somewhere. Might be able to see it. You gotta just look for the tallest mountain and go with it. So, but we'll send the drone out once we land at Mount Washington Regional. We'll try to get a good look at it. Okay, more reservoir. So we're here, and that's gonna be our final check-in point. What did I say for minutes on that? I said 48 minutes, so we should be about 3 minutes away right now. Alright, what we're going to do is runway 28's a right pattern, so we're going to do a right downwind 45 entry. So we're actually going to go north of the airport, which is why I'm going to the north right now. And we'll do a right downwind for runway 28, again intercepting on a 45. And it's probably right to keep you out of those mountains. So. But really, really majestic and nice here. If you have a car and you're up here in New Hampshire, you can actually drive all the way up to the summit of Mount Washington. And they recommend that you have all-wheel drive and stuff like that. My Honda CR-V does, but again, last time we went up here with the kids for Santa's Village and Storybook Land, which was the other part of New Hampshire. Yeah, I wanted to do that, but we just couldn't find the time to do it. But I was going to those places as a kid too, so it's kind of nostalgic to see places I went as a kid with my parents. Storybook Land especially, because I haven't gone there since forever. But brings back a lot of memories, New Hampshire. And they used to have the state symbol, which was the Old Man of the Mountain. Old Man of the Mountain, I think it was. And it was this rock formation that if you looked at it, it looked like an old man's face. Some Native Americans thought it was like one of their most important chiefs or something like that. And then in 2000, I'll say mid to early 2000s, it actually like degraded to the point where it just collapsed one day. And yeah, they could have rebuilt it, like they had rebar in it and stuff to try to stabilize it over the years, but that was a big blow to all New Englanders, I think, but especially to New Hampshire people in general. But we're gonna increase the mixture here as we get to 3,000 feet. And we're going down to 2,100 feet for that pattern here. We should be starting to see it soon. More reservoirs right here, so I said 48, I got 47, so we're right about there. And the airport should be out here in the distance somewhere. So we'll see. A little tricky to get in here on this airport too, with it being like that. Full rich, 3,000 feet, and descending to 2,100 feet. This is a military operations area as well, so real world will have to check that out before I actually fly up here. It seems like a nice little airport, honestly. Not that I've ever flown here. A lot of I've only been to 2 New Hampshire airports, but the ones I've been to have been pretty nice. Went to Nashua and then Keene this past Saturday, so expanding my distances. Of course, that costs more money, but I think the airport's right out here somewhere. We're getting down to pattern altitude here, so this is good. Lancaster, New Hampshire's up the road this way. And they should have some ski slopes around here too and everything, because New Hampshire's big for skiing. I remember gigging up here in the Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine areas. I actually, my band back in the day played at Sunday River in Maine. That was kind of cool. So, all right. Whitefield should be out here. We should be seeing it pretty soon to the northwest of it. So I'm going to give a position location here. Mount Washington traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot. 9 miles to the northwest. We're going to set up a right downwind 45 for runway 28, Mount Washington. Yeah, looks like it's still kind of loading some scenery here. Didn't quite load that, did it? Wonder what's going on there. Still don't really see the airport, but I'm using GPS to help me here, so should be almost in front of us. So these 3 little mountains here too, that's interesting. The Mount Washington should be out here, so I think it's that one right there, honestly. But again, we'll try to spot that with the drone after I land. I don't know what happened to the scenery here. Load faster, would you? I'd like to see some trees. Alright, maybe this mountain was obscuring it a little bit. Okay, increase the throttle, seeing that we're around 2,100. We'll trim as necessary. And here we go. We'll take a look for the airport. Yeah, I think that's definitely Mount Washington out there. And the airport, can't really see it yet, can you? Should be out there. Huh. Alright, back off on speed here. Oh, is that it right there? Right near the lake? Oh, it's gotta be here somewhere. Okay. I think that's it. Mount Washington Regional, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, 3 miles out in the 45, runway 28, Mount Washington. Alright, well, we're right almost on top of it, so let's turn. It's funny that I can't really see it by now, right? Unless something's messed up with the scenery, then that would be bad. Ah, there's the beacon. Alright. I got it. It's right there. Alright. Woo, I was getting nervous there. Okay, gotta get a little more altitude here. Well, some extra practice there. Try to find it. GPS helps, I'll tell you that. Mount Washington Regional traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, 2 miles out on the right, downwind 45 for runway 28, Mount Washington. Yeah, we got this now. A little low, but we'll fix that in a second. And you can clearly see why they want a right pattern. On the left there, you got some mountains and stuff that they want you to miss, so. But it makes it a little harder to see outside here, obviously. Just gotta kind of estimate it. And I'm looking at 280 here, just to see if I can get lined up. We should be about halfway up the wing strut. So we're not that bad. Go a little bit further out. That's not terrible. So, alright, I'll beam the numbers. We'll go back to 1700 and level out till it's 110 knots. Here we go. It's our airport right there. Okay, I'll beam the numbers. 1700. Leveling out until it's 110 knots. There we go. 10 degrees of flaps and angle down. We started out a little lower than 2,100, so we'll just look at that. Yeah, I'll turn base right around here. All right, turning right base clear on the right. Should be about 80 knots swinging around here, so there we go. The peripheral vision on this sucks. That's just the simulator in general. Right now, you'd be looking out there. 280, 1500, 10 more degrees, and turning final. See how quick that was? We should be about 70 knots. So yeah, we're about right there. We're a little low, so we might have to kick a little more RPMs in, but here we go. Mount Washington Regional. Right patterns are again a little harder, only because you can't see out the right as well as you can on the left when you're in the left seat. So here we go. Go a little fast, so pull back on the throttle. Look at that. Look at those electric wires right there. Wow. So if I looked at the NOTAMs like in real life, probably would have known that. So alright, we should be at 65 knots, final 10 degrees. That should bring us there. Throttles out just to make sure we get there. And here we go. Level out and flare. Good landing. My rudder pedals are again a little broken, so just kind of put up with the juttiness of that. But that was a good landing. Flaps are up, and we're just gonna roll it on the runway because the parking's at the end over here on the left, I think. There we go. Actually, could pull off here. Very good. All right, let's clear the runway. Then we'll check our post-landing checklist and welcome to Whitefield, New Hampshire, everybody. Mount Washington Regional. Mount Washington Regional traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot clear of runway 28, Mount Washington. All right, flaps are up already. Whoops, checklist. Flaps up, strobes off. Landing light, I like to leave on. Taxi light, I like to leave on for enhanced visibility. Trim step takeoff, it is. And that's about it. We're good. We're going to taxi down there to the general aviation ramp. It's a really small airport, so there's only one ramp. And here we go. Okay, we'll look at for Mount Washington after I park and get it all secure here, and then we'll go take a little tour. All right, how am I going to get to that? Yeah, I don't know. Let's go this. Oh, no. All right. Pretty blocked up here, so let's go down here. Well, it looks a little bit better than it did in prepared, I'll tell you that. Satellite imagery makes all the difference there. And, whoop, my rudders are stuck again. Sorry about that. Not much I can do. They want me to park over here, which I don't think they would be there in real life because this is, again, a small airport, but we'll use them. Might as well, right? right there. He's telling me to shut down now. Good. All right, ELT, verify silent. Keep this at 1,000 here. Avionics off. All right, all lights except for beacon should be off. Very good. And mixture fully. It's gonna give me this screen because I actually parked in a real parking space. I'll wait till it turns off. Good. Mags off. Master off. Lights off. And parking brake. So we've made it to Whitefield, New Hampshire, everybody. Nice little small quaint airport here in New Hampshire. One that I want to visit in real life. Let's see, Mount Washington. Let me get my Google map out here. That's what's going to help me the most here. Okay, KIHE Airport. Satellite imagery. Here's the airport. Here's where we're parked over here. And the mountain will be over there. So we have to get the drone to be looking that way. So that's what we will try to do. Let's get the drone out, back to the cockpit, drone mode, and hopefully it won't be too far away so that this doesn't crash. So I don't promise anything because last night it did that, but see what happens. It's that way out there. Make it go a little faster. And what we're going to look for, and that's it right there actually in the distance. This is Mount Lafayette, I believe, on the right. Whoop. Mount Lafayette's out there. And then Mount Washington is that peak right here, I believe. So let's go out there. And that's at 6,600 feet, so. Now they have like an old railway that goes up there. I don't know if they show that in the simulator scenery or anything like that, but well, they got some type of roadway going up there. And this is the peak right here, I believe, if this is it. I think that's it. Yeah, that is it. This is the summit right here. And again, you could drive up the whole mountain, and then you get up here and it's like a big touristy thing to do. But they even have kind of like some of the buildings here. They would have big radio towers right here. That's the weather station that's up here at the peak here. But if you look south, oh, I'm in the building. If you look south from here on a clear day, you're supposed to be able to see Boston, which that's not going to happen right now because you see it's a little hazy out there. But that is the summit. You see all the cars parked over there. And this must be the main road going down. So this is the road that you would drive up to go up Mount Washington. You see it's quite the road to get up there. Looks like it starts down here. So someday I want to take the Honda CR-V up there. But that is Mount Washington in its glory, everybody. And that's the tallest mountain in New England. Right there at the summit. And the airport is, let's see, it's Mount Washington. I'm thinking it's down here in the valley somewhere. Well, I can make the drone fly back, so let's do that. I was a little off, so right down here. Again, Mount Washington, where we were, is all the way out there. These peaks are over here. And that's about as scenic as it gets here. Santa's Village and stuff would be kind of up the road and everything, and I could go check that out, but you're probably not going to see much except for like really bad satellite imagery. So let me see if I can actually find that. Give me a second, because I'm kind of intrigued with that. Okay, it's quite a ride actually. Well, we'll look for it. How's that? Let's see. We go straight. We follow that road up. All right, let's do it. So you follow this road up and around. And we go up this road. It's amazing the stuff that you can do on the satellite imagery. This is Route 116. Yep. I'm going to follow that all the way around to Route 2, hopefully. This is still Route 116. Should have a little curve over here. Yep, that's the curve. Route 116 still. And this is Route 2. And Santa's Village should be right up Route 2. So I'm going to turn this way. Go up. There it is. Santa's Village, everybody. So that was that little theme park I was telling you about. Still got to kind of load with the scenery. But this is Santa's summertime residence. You can actually visit them there. They have tons of rides for kids and stuff. But it's modeled okay. You know, it's just the entrance over here. It's the parking lot. And still waiting for the scenery to load a little bit. But be a nice day trip if you have kids and you fly. So you'd have to get an Uber or a taxi or something. They do have hotels in the area. Over here, this is like a water park area, which doesn't really look like that, but there's like a splash pool zone and some mini water slides. So it's a pretty cool place, and it wasn't like that when I was a kid. I mean, you had Santa and stuff. They have a talking reindeer out here for the kids. So, but anyways, that's about it for tonight. So we're gonna call it a night here in Whitefield, New Hampshire, and Mount Washington area. From Mount Washington Regional, thank you for watching, and we'll see you later. We're almost done with the Around the USA flights, and then we're going to have a couple more ideas. I'm thinking about recreating some of my real-world flights on the simulator, and then we'll compare them with the video, maybe. I don't know if I can do that or not, but that's kind of one of the plans I have. And, of course, we'll still use the fly-ins for the Virtual USA Flying Club. In fact, I'm hosting the one on, I think it's Sunday, November 22nd. We're going to have a fly-in to my home base, my real-life home base, of Plymouth, Massachusetts, because that's where the traditional Thanksgiving happened with the Wampanoags and the Pilgrims. So stay tuned. We'll have more interesting flights for you. And thanks for watching. Remember to follow on Twitch. We're almost there. 5 more people. Only has 5 to get to associate level, hopefully. And then on YouTube, I'm trying to get to 1,000, and that's growing every day. We're up to 323, I think. So we're trying our best, though. And the more that join, the more I can do here. So thank you so much for your support, and have a great night. We'll see you.